Okay, so imagine you have a remote repository and it just has two files in there. So you start off by just cloning that repository into your local file system, and of course once you've cloned it, everything should be the same as it is in the remote. Okay, so you get to work and you make some changes. And you're pretty happy with the changes, and you stage them, and then you commit them, and of course everything now looks great. Run your status and you see you're now one ahead of your remote branch. Of course now you realize that actually what you'd like to do is to merge those two commits, because what you did wasn't that significant. At this point, performing a rebase won't help because you only have those two commits. So if we try and do a rebase now, we can see that we can't squash two commits because the only commit that shows up here is that second commit. So of course we now have to go ahead and cancel that interactive rebase session. So what can you do? So what you can do is you can reset your head to the previous commit that you had, and what that will do is that will put you in a state as if the second commit has not happened. So you can see now that the first file is again modified. If I have a look at my log, you can only see that first commit, my head is now once again pointing at my master branch, which is exactly the same as my remote branch's head. Okay, and of course we haven't lost any of that work. That second line I've added is still available in the file. So at this point now we can perform a amend commit. So we can go git commit amend, and if we run that we get an opportunity to change the message. So if I want to, I can modify my commit message and I can commit that. So if we have a look now, you can notice that we are getting back to having just a single commit in my local repository with the new commit message. And what has happened is, because commits in Git are immutable, is that the commit ID has actually changed after I've created my new commit. So if I were to now run a git status, what you'll notice is that Git tells me that the remote branch and my local branch have diverged, because there are now commits present on my local repository that is not present on my remote repository. And so if you now want to fix that, what you've got to do is you've got to force the push. Of course, if other people have committed to that branch on the remote repository, then this is going to be a pain. So one way to live in such a world is to, instead of forming just a force, is to do a git push with force with release. This push will be rejected if any commits have been performed on the remote branch and that is not present over here, which is what I want. I don't want to overwrite anybody else's changes. So if I now run that command, we should be in a situation where we've now pushed to our remote branch. So if I now go back to the Bitbucket repository and I refresh that, you should see that we've got the new commit messages over there, and we're still on our master branch. The changes I made to that file are still present, and if I look at the commits over there, there's only that one commit instead of the two commits.